Today, a familiar face made an appearance, the president of The Ohio State University, Ted Carter. He's been on the job at OSU for about 5 months. He was tasked with a few big issues as soon as he took the job, including finding the replacement for athletic director Gene Smith.
He's also had to tackle a few issues at the university in the past months that have grabbed major headlines.
Of course, this past weekend, tragedy occurring at graduation. One person died during the event after falling from the stadium.
And then there have been numerous pro-Palestine protests at the university. Around 40 people were arrested during those protests, including numerous students who have called on the university to cut ties with Israel.
I want to just say right up front, as I've said in every communication I've said, I care passionately about First Amendment.
And with that, we thank you for joining us today. For NBC4 at 5, I'm Jared Smalley.
And I'm Jennifer Bullock. Carter had the chance to address these events as well as the state of the university at the State House today. NBC4's Anna Hoffman spoke with him. So, Anna, what did he have to say?
Jen and Jared, one of Carter's main reasons for being at the State House today was to ask for funding, $76.5 million in funding to be exact, and that would be for renovations to buildings across all of Ohio State's campuses. But what ended up being the standout was hearing about the university's response to what some might call controversial events to end the school year. This is President Ted Carter addressing those protests where 40 people were arrested, 18 of which were students, to an Ohio Senate committee. Carter is standing firm and saying he believes the university did handle the protests right.
We also made it very clear that there weren't going to be any encampments or people spending the night. And not that I was worried about whether they could do it peacefully, as we didn't have the security force to protect them.
Carter said several times the arrests were not about limiting free speech. Rather, they were about an intentional violation of university rules. He says the response was about keeping people safe.
And those security forces took more stuff hitting at them than the other way around. They had bottles of urine thrown on them, bottles of water thrown at them. We had to use extra security forces, which our campus police is not large enough to do. That's why we asked for some support from the State Highway Patrol.
Carter also addressed the process for choosing the speaker for the 2024 commencement ceremony, calling him non-traditional. The speaker was Christopher Pan, a social entrepreneur who admits to taking psychedelic drugs to help write his speech.
A lot of that was going on well before I even showed up in the job. So, yes, he's somebody that was known to the university, had been on a list, yes, and he did get invited to come speak.
Much of the student criticism about Pan's speech had to do with his urging people to invest in Bitcoin. It is public knowledge that Carter has served on a bit mining company since 2021. We asked if Carter has any connection to Pan.
I'd never met him before. I did not know anything about him until the night before the dinner, and he asked me if I knew anything about Bitcoin. So those connections are completely random.
I think it is important to note that the head of the Senate committee today did say to Carter that the university's response to these protests should be used as an example. Now, this week, Ohio's Attorney General has brought to light a 70-year-old law that was used to target the Ku Klux Klan. It makes it a 4th-degree felony for 2 or more people to commit a crime while wearing a mask. Now, Carter says he did not know about this law, and he says he's looking into it, but at this time they are not taking any particular action. Local for you at The Ohio State, I'm Anna Hoffman, NBC4.